Former Oregon City veterinarian has been sentenced to life in prison for the 2023 murder on the Intel campus in Hillsboro.
Fox 12's Julia Lopez has more from the courtroom.
A deranged murderer. That's what a Washington County prosecutor called former veterinarian Stephen Milner at his sentencing today.
His predatory behavior merits this court assuring that he dies behind bars.
58-year-old Stephen Milner was given life in prison, found guilty of stalking and murdering 58-year-old Kenneth Fandrich at an Intel parking garage in January 2023. Fandrich had worked at the Intel facility as a contractor, and court records state Milner had been stalking him for years. The district attorney's office explains Milner ran a veterinary practice in Oregon City, and he began an affair with a longtime employee, Fandrich's wife. When Fandrich learned of the affair, his wife cut it off. They say Milner became obsessed and for years stalked the couple using GPS tracking devices, showing up at their home and following Fandrich to his job at Intel.
As this court is well aware, there is no treatment for stalking behavior.
In March 2022, Fandrich was given a stalking protective order, but that didn't stop Milner. He bought 2 cars to allow him to sneak into the Intel garage, where the DA says he would repeatedly watch Fandrich going to and from work. On January 27, 2023, prosecutors say he spray painted the garage's security cameras, ambushed Fandrich from behind, choked him to death, and staged his body in his car. Milner was arrested days later. Here's how longtime friends of Fandrich described him back in 2023.
He was class of 84, I was class of 83, Estacada High School.
Kenny was the class clown.
Julia Lopez, Fox 12 Oregon.
Milner is eligible for parole after 25 years. However, if granted, Milner would have to serve an additional 6 years first, which was added to the sentence for violating the stalking order.